Hey guys, Richard at reefs.com. Thank you for joining us for this video. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a vlog, and today we would like to talk about Eshopps Deskmate. Let's go. Alright guys, so as I was mentioning in the earlier introduction, this video is going to be on Eshopps Deskmate. And I first came in contact with this product probably about a year and a half in one of those Reefer shows. And right now, all of these small micro, pico, nano tanks are all the rage right now. However, knowing myself and my habits, I was a little hesitant on getting into it in fear of not letting these animals thrive in the way that they should under my care. But I still wanted to get into it. This is how I addressed some of the issues that had to do with, nothing to do with the product itself, but with my own laziness and for my purposes. And hopefully for those of you guys who might have the same concern at home, this is some of the modifications and things that you can do at home to try these units without having to compromise your animal's health. So let's get into it. First thing about this tank is it's only 3.8 gallon tank. So what I want to do is I want to eliminate as much equipment going in, and I don't want to put another power head on here because this is going to be sitting right in the open where children could put their hands on and etc. And I don't want them to mess up by chance or anything like that and splashing water everywhere and getting me really upset. So with that in mind, I decided to use the return pump that's included, not only for the return pump in general, just to filter out stuff, however, to use it to move the water in the tank. So how do I do this effectively in this little tiny tank? So with that in mind, I reached out to my good friend Antonio at VCA to talk about their RFG unit that's already available in the market that could potentially help me for my application over here.
Hey Richard, hey, I sent you over those flow kits and I want to make sure you were choosing the right one for the tank that you got there. So I know if you're going to use the stock pump, you probably want to stick with the single nozzle, but let's go ahead and walk in here and I'll show you what I sent you. You can decide which way to go. So I sent you over the single kit and the dual kit. I would say if you're staying with the stock pump, I think this is your best option. It's going to be the right flow amount for that pump. But if you're going to upgrade to something like the SICCE Micra or even the SICCE Nano, both good pumps, and I think they'll both fit in that tank. This is a great option. Gives you two of the special edition Sunset Orange random flow generators. Pops right onto the tank, no tools or anything. It's got a Flex Series adapter that makes it a perfect fit every time.
So as you guys saw, Antonio has recommended me using dual RFG unit made for this tank. Now I wanted to try both to see how it works. And with the stock pump, it comes out as 100 gallons per hour. And on a first unit with the single RFG, it was fine, but there are still dead spots that was being created in there, which I did not like too much. And then I installed the dual unit. And once I put the dual unit, I mean, keep in mind the flow is being divided by 2. And when this happened, it significantly reduced the pressure of the water that was coming out. And for me, this was not enough at all. The corals that I plan to keep need a certain amount of flow to wash over all their mucus and be filtered out with carbon and etc. to have things thrive in their own ecosystem. So now to address the lack of flow that was coming out of the pump itself, the stock pump, I reached out to my good friends at SICCE to see if there's any pump with the same footprint that could provide much higher gallons per hour to fit my needs and my application for the system that I'm trying to design. So let's go to Coconut Creek, Florida to talk to Steve and see what options are available for this unit. Let's go. Hey Steve, how's it going?
Hello Richard, it's going well.
So first of all, thank you for having me here.
Absolutely.
And what we have here, looks like we have a couple of pumps right here, already ready here.
Yeah, so part of SICCE's business is what we would call like the all-in-one upgrade. I believe you recently purchased the Deskmate.
Yes.
Right, from Eshopps.
Yep.
Right, so we love Eshopps, we love the team. Shout out to Louis, Shalom, and everybody else. And we do hear this a lot. You know, we've actually heard that of all the desktops that are out there, the Deskmate does come with a fairly good pump. But for those that are looking for a little more power, a little more silence, whatever their issue is with the pump that comes with it, again, whether it's an Eshopps product or someone else, they would come to us and say, what do you got? So that process for me, which is a little different or possibly different from other people, I always like to look at best case scenario. So there's an immediate calculation that comes from a comparison from the pump that comes from the factory. So in your case, what I always recommend is, okay, let's take a look at the pump. What are the physical dimensions of the pump or the physical dimensions of the chamber of that aquarium? And then let's maximize or leverage gallons per hour so that we can maximize both size and power.
Sure.
Right? So for a SICCE device, what we want to look at first is the Micro Plus.
Okay.
So Micro Plus out of them all has the strongest gallons per hour, so the strongest output. And what I would do, whether it was you, Richard, or anybody else, I would say, okay, let's start with this. And if the pump itself is in your budget, the pump itself is producing the gallons per hour that you want, and the pump itself fits inside the chamber of the Deskmate that you want to use, then we don't even need to look at these ones. We can just look at this.
Right.
What's the size of the chamber in there?
Is 2.5 by 2.5 is the pump size, and then the chamber size is a little under 3 by 3.
A little under 3. All right, so again, like not a lot of rocket science, you know, to this. You know, we were at 3.5 here. We take this pump. Is it going to fit inside the chamber? Length? Yes. Yeah. Is it going to fit at width? Yes. Is it going to fit in height? Yes. So again, you know, we have lots of other pumps that fit the dimensions, but why would we want to look at another pump if we can maximize the gallons per hour?
Right.
So, you know, this is the little brother. This is the Micra. Sometimes for like water fountains and really, really small nano tanks, people don't want the 160 gallons per hour out of this. So, you know, you can sacrifice a little bit, almost half, by going to 90 gallons per hour and have the same footprint. This is a really cool pump because you can actually control volume through here, and then you've also got a chamber down here where you can rinse the sponge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And you know, these two here, again, we don't even really need to talk to them, but these are utility pumps. The SYNCRA Silent series is our most popular pump, and this is the little baby of the family. You know, this is the SYNCRA Nano. I'm sure
I just put that in my dad's tank.
Right. So as you can see, like, you know, hitting the size right. You know, so that 2.5 or 3 inch by 3 inch capability, this will work. Yeah. But you know, you're sacrificing down to 110 gallons per hour from a potential 160. So again, if there's ever any lesson as far as sizing the right pump for your all-in-one aquarium, we just want to look at what will fit in the most gallons per hour. So we'll call it the most bang for your buck.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this guy here will
definitely work for my needs.
It'll definitely work. Yeah.
All right, then I think that's pretty much chosen right there.
The chosen one. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Steve.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you, bud.
Okay, bye.
Now, we briefly touched in the earlier moments about my laziness and etc. And the challenges of small nano and picos are parameters changes way too quickly. This could be good, this could be bad, mostly bad, because if you're not really in tune with it and checking on it pretty much daily, things could go south very quickly. Now, that was my main concern, but I was talking to my good friend Shane Lafreniere of 24/7 Aquariums, and we came up with this idea of plumbing it together to my main system, which is right next to it. It's ELO's 254 gallon system, you know, pretty much cruise control at this time. So I decided to plumb it together. And how I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna drill behind the tank and put a bulkhead underneath it, and then just let it trickle down as I feed a drip line that's continuously dripping throughout 24 hours time, coming straight from my sump using EcoTech Versa doser. Now, when I do this, I don't have to worry about ATO. I don't have to worry about things changing, such as parameters, temperatures, because it's always gonna be constant pretty much, because it's all tied up to one big system. And I don't have to worry about overflows and etc. as long as my big tank is in order. Versus tube that's coming into the tank to drip the water is being held together by a probe holder from Slide-Loc. Ryan has this orange probe holder that matches this thing perfectly. So I just looked at it, I just thought it was a no-brainer to decide to go for this. So if you guys have a minute, be sure to check out his webpage and get one if you guys want something similar for your aquarium. All right guys, so now the flow is taken care of. Now it is up to lighting. However, I like my blues and I like the controllability. Luckily for me, doing the things that I do, I had some spare lights. So instead of using the stock light that was provided by Eshopps when you purchased the Deskmate, I decided to throw in a Radiar XR15 blue that I had available. And I'm gonna run 100% blue all day long. And so I'm gonna illuminate this with the Radiar XR15. I know it's a little bit overkill, but I like the color blending of EcoTech. I love their quality and I love the build that they do. Overall, just looks like a furniture grade, and I like how everything looks together. It looks like a complete package and it's not just a hodgepodge of equipment I just threw in there to make something work. Also, I have no doubt that under this light, anything I'll decide to throw in there, I know that they'll grow, I know that they'll like it, and I'll know they'll thrive under it. So I'm excited to use this into this build. This tank has been set up for close to about a month now, and it is time for fish. You know, for those of you guys that follow me around on Instagram, Facebook, various social media handles, as well as YouTube, you guys know that I am a big believer and pusher of aquaculture and captive breeding process. So I decided to go check out my friends at Biota to put a captive bred fish in this tank. Now let's go. Keep in mind also, I just wanted to give you a fair warning, Biota and many other different type of farms in general, they have so many different pumps, fans, and etc. Even with the mic, it's gonna get pretty loud. So I just wanted to give you a fair warning before we head over there, and let's go pick out some fish. Hey Janice, how you doing today?
Doing good.
So Janice here is a husbandry manager for Biota, Fort Lauderdale office. What do you guys do here?
Mainly we receive from all of our breeding facilities. The mandarins that we're going to look at are from Palau, but the tanks right in Hawaii get shipped here and then they get distributed throughout the United States or shipped out through the retail site that we have online.
Gotcha. So now I am looking through one of your mandarins because I have a 3.8 gallon tank and I wanted to put
Perfect.
A male mandarin. Can you help me find a nice healthy specimen?
We have some of the show size ones if you wanted to do a larger one.
Sure.
They're actually both males, so that works for you.
Oh, okay.
Or we have some chunky other smaller size ones if you want to do
Sure,
some of those.
I like the larger size one. But let me ask you a quick question. How do you distinguish a male and a female? I know when they're larger, you could tell by the dorsal fin.
Yeah.
But when they're smaller, how do you tell?
You can still see it when they're smaller.
Yeah?
The females always have like the rounded one, and even if the males don't have the tall fin just yet, it's more of like a square shape rather than a circle. You'll see a little point at the front.
Gotcha.
And the males are usually a little bit bigger too. There's a little bit of a sexual dimorphism in the size.
Gotcha. And what have you been feeding these guys so I know what to feed them?
They eat everything. We like to do just live cocoa pods with a little bit of enrichment on them, like Vitachem or something.
Okay.
But they're eating pellet, frozen, baby brine, Calanus. They're eating our mastic, the easy reefs actually. They love that, and that's good, so they can eat pretty much all day.
Yeah.
They'll eat small pellet, B1 or B2 TDO pellet.
Okay. Oh, I love TDOs.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The DKI pellet we have from Easy Reef's a little bit too big for them, but we actually grind it up and it's perfect for them too. They'll eat it.
Nice.
They eat pretty much everything.
Awesome. So these, you said you have two of those show size ones?
I think there's 4
I see
actually, yeah.
One, I saw 2 over there. Oh, I said 3.
Yeah,
I
they're
see.
hiding from you.
Gotcha. And these are all males?
I believe so. They should be.
Okay.
They're retired broodstock.
Oh, okay. They're retired broodstock. Gotcha.
Yep.
That's awesome. These are psychedelic mandarins. Are one of the most, I think in my personal opinion, one of the most beautiful fish that we have to offer in this saltwater aquarium trade. but these are, I usually steer clear away from them because they're such a finicky fish. And one thing that's good about the captive bred ones are they eat. A lot of the wild counterparts, they don't eat and they just green, they just get really thin and just wither away. And I know that I pay a little bit more here, but it's guaranteed to live, and that's something that sits well by me. So let's pick out one of the nicer ones, the bigger ones.
Big one. Let me grab a bag for you.
Sure. Oh, I like that one. That one shows a lot of red. I like this one. This one has a lot of red in it.
Yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah.
There's one too that has a lot of green. It's like total
yeah,
opposites.
I saw the greener one over there.
Yeah. It's crazy how different they all look.
Right?
Come here, little guy.
Very cool. Awesome. So how big would they grow from, from this size?
He'll probably get maybe another 1.5 inches.
Yeah. So I'll keep this in my tank for a little bit, and then as it grows a little bit larger, then I'll put them into my main system, and then come back and get another small one for the little
He's
one.
so pretty. It looks like he has freckles.
Right? Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I love it.
He's awesome. You can tell he's eating a lot. He's nice and chunky.
Right.
There you
awesome.
go. You want to hold them and I'll clip them for you?
Sure. Perfect. All right, guys. So I picked out my favorite fish. As soon as I saw the fish and I saw the fin and the color that the mandarin was in, it reminded me of Leonidas from 300. So it's a taboo for me to name any fish, and I really don't, because anything that I become very attached to, name it or whatever, I look at it funny and it just dies. It's just been my luck so far. However, I'm gonna cross my fingers and I'm gonna name this fish, and hopefully this fish will last me very, very, very long time. And guys, I would like for you to welcome Leonidas to the Deskmate 3.8 gallon tank. And I still want to name it something, but I don't know yet. Maybe you guys could leave down in the comment below to see what I could name that 3.8 gallons. I look forward to your comments down below. And originally I wanted to make this as a bare bottom tank because I really like that orange glow that it gives when the authentic lights are hitting it from different sides, and it just made it look so unique. However, my good friend Julian had a different opinion about it, and this is what we had to say.
So hey Richard, do you ever have somebody ask you how bare you can make the bottom of your nano tank? I mean, how bare? Normally they say, how much sand can I put on the bottom? How many, should it be 1 inch, half an inch, 2 inches? But how bare? No, there should be sand.
So from a little push from Julian, I decided to put a little bit of sand on this tank. And how I wanted to design this tank, the livestock that's going in, I kind of wanted to make it into a softy tank. I wanted to put a whole bunch of recordias because I really like Caribbean corals. And a lot of times when you see a Caribbean exhibit, pretty much anywhere in the country, you see gorgonians here and there. It's really drab. Like there's not much color contrast. It just doesn't look that great. However, we know that that's not all there is to Caribbean corals. Well, Florida corals. So I got a whole bunch of rock flowers that was actually collected in Key West, as well as recordias that was collected in Key West. And I put it in here. It is my hope to cover the whole bottom with recordias and rock flowers, as well as some of Caribbean collected zoanthids, as well as some of the unique soft corals that I personally like and cherish. And I'm just gonna throw it all in there and then make it into one beautiful softy tank that I could look back and be very proud of. And also paying a big homage to my good friend Julian Sprung. I have been growing these mangroves in my other tank for about 2-3 years. And I placed it in here because it's right next to my window and it's gonna be in direct sunlight for about 2 hours or 2-3 hours a day minimum. And it's gonna help it to grow, and it's gonna look good sitting back there, as well as provide a little bit of natural filtration as it suck up nutrients from all the food that I'll be feeding into this tank. All right guys, so this has been a nice quick, not so quick vlog of Eshopps Deskmate with my little twist. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, suggestions, please write down in the comment section below. I look forward to discussing it with you. And if you have any idea on how to clean the edges of the acrylic without scratching them, or if there's any products that you could recommend me, please do so, and I look forward to it. Thank you so much guys for watching, and you guys have a great day.